Our meeting. Hey, fancy. Welcome to the May 27th, 2021 HEAC meeting. I will call the meeting to order at 3:41 p.m. I'm gonna skip voting on the minutes. We'll do that next week on June 3rd. June 3rd will be another HEAC meeting that we will post on the DOE website. The first order of business is the ED 315 rules. Actually, first I would like to welcome, we have two new members from the Department of Education, Nate Green and Shireen Maskoon. Welcome, thank you for joining us and for being our Department of Education liaisons. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure, yeah, I can go real quick and then Shireen. Nate Green, I'm the Bureau Administrator for the Bureau of Education Opportunities. There are three offices within my Office of Public Schools, Office of Charter Schools, and there's the Office of Non-Public Schools. And we've done a little bit of reorganizing here at the department, and home education is being brought into our bureau now. And we'll have the Office of Non-Public Schools and the Office of Home Education together underneath Shireen Maskoon. So she's going to be taking on sort of the role that Ellie had played previously here at the department.
Thank you, Nate.
May I ask, Nate, are you joining HEAC?
I know Shireen is. I need to take a look at the membership. So that's probably a question for Kitty. Is there a spot on there for multiple department representatives? Is it just one spot? I'm getting up to speed on the rules myself.
So right now what we have is one spot, but I don't know if it's, since it's not a voting member, if, you know, as a member of the public, you're always welcome to attend, even if you're not officially on the HEAC.
Perfect, that sounds great.
Shireen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I'm Shireen Maskoon. I've been with the state since 2016, working in various capacities. First with Homeland Security Emergency Management in the school planning section, and then as an officer for career school licensing, and now with non-public schools. I'm happy to take on additional responsibility and as much leadership as I can provide with home education now as well.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you both for being here and for taking us on. We're not scary, I promise.
Thank you. We're excited to kind of get to know home education and this group, and we're looking forward to it.
Excellent, thank you. And so along those lines, both Shireen and Nate have been keeping me updated on ED 315 and how even after the rules were certified and adopted, they are taken from GELCAR and they have to go through another in-process, actually maybe you guys can describe it a little bit better than I can, because they're in process until they are moved into, what was it?
So the final status, I think, yeah. So once the rules come back to the department from GELCAR, I think the state board takes a final vote on that, and those are and go into force.
Okay. And so that would be why they've been difficult to find on websites and things. I think they're up there now because we had emailed, we had sent an email to Amanda Phelps, who had worked on it with us. She was the rules coordinator from the DOE. And so we had sent her an email, and when she returned from vacation, she was able to let us know what was going on. So if there's still, I think I sent the links out that she had sent to me last week. And so now everybody should have them. If you don't have them, let me know and I will send them to you, but they should be up now and available for anyone who needs them.
Do we know when, or do we have an expected time when they'll be officially wrapped up and blessed and approved by the state BOE, when they'll be 100% done and we can finally cross that off our list?
I'm taking a look at the upcoming state board agenda now to see if it's part of that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. let us know when you know, Nate. I'm just going to continue on just because it's only a 40-minute time window. But if we still need more, I will send out another link. The Rochester Show Cause, the commissioner this afternoon sent me exactly what he had sent to the Rochester School District. And so now that it is public knowledge and has been since May 13th, it can be disseminated to anyone who is interested. When I spoke to him, he said that there will be there will be testimony for those who are involved in this. And so the prosecution will be reaching out most likely to Amanda and to the people she's been involved in helping. And they will be called as witnesses by the State Board of Ed prosecution, Diana Fenton, excuse me. And so that's what's going on with that. If you have any questions, Amanda has really been at the helm of that particular issue with equal access and that school district. And you've all been emailed what the commissioner sent me this afternoon. So if you have any questions on that, you can direct them to me, to Amanda, or to the commissioner. And
so can I share the meeting time?
yes, please do.
So that show, you almost went on the floor. Sorry about that. That meeting is next Thursday at 10 a.m. I'm sorry, yeah, 10 a.m. And it's a Zoom meeting. And I was actually going to ask if anyone had an update on that link or even where to find it. But it is scheduled, this hearing is scheduled next Thursday, June 3rd at 10 a.m.
You should be getting contacted, if she hasn't already, by Diane Fenton.
Okay.
As far as calling witnesses, there will be an entire legal proceeding and, you know, finding of facts and things like that. So that's ongoing right now. As far as the developments and how long it took to get that information out, not everything is able to be shared as it's happening, but once it becomes public knowledge, then we are able to share it with one another.
Kitty, the Zoom meeting, is that going to be accessible to us or just to particular people who are involved?
It's public. It's a public meeting.
It's a public meeting.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good. All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Nate, were you able to find out anything about the Board of Ed agenda?
Yeah, it looks like they've just been waiting on some formatting and getting the format correct. So the rules themselves went into effect and were adopted officially as of January 2021.
Right. Yeah.
Posted, they're on the website, and those are effective. There's nothing else that needs to be done.
Wonderful.
Oh.
I'm not sure if anyone's aware, but there was a task force. It was the STRRT, the School Transition Redesign and Reopening Task Force. And just as information, it has been reopened. And so there's a task force that will be going over New Hampshire's funding that they've received from the COVID-19 response efforts. And so K-12 school system will have all these different breakout sessions where there's been learning loss impact or summer learning and enrichment programs, after school programs, and other emergency needs. And so all of these different breakout groups will be recommending to the task force how to use some of the federal funding. I was a member of the task force last time going around. They've had one meeting, but I happened to be working at the time. So the next meeting is June 7th. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. That's when they will share their feedback with the Department of Education as far as how to use the massive amounts of funding that they received from the federal government. So that is going on right now. And then as a really fun announcement, one of my students, one of my old civics students, entered the First in the Nation essay contest.
That one, yeah.
And he won!
Congratulations.
Right? I'm so proud of him. He's phenomenal. He definitely, when we had a mock presidential campaign, he was very convincing. So I'm not surprised that he won, and he deserves all the accolades. Sam Cole is a phenomenal student. He's very politically active for a young man, so good on him.
Yes. What grade is he in?
He's a high schooler. He's technically, I believe, a sophomore, junior. He's some sophomore classes, some junior classes.
Me.
So yeah, it's pretty wonderful. I feel lucky to know him. I would like to move on to member reports. Fred, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Not much, Kitty. The sky's kind of falling just because we're closing out the semester. We had graduation on Saturday, and my grades are overdue. And yes, we're doing well though. We had, we had a good semester. It was in person, so we're happy we ended in person.
That's wonderful. Congratulations on graduation.
Thank you.
Good luck on getting your grades in. I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to be here.
Oh, it's worth it.
Thank you. Katie.
I think you're muted, Katie.
You're muted, Katie. It's okay.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I used Zoom too. We had a lot of graduation parties in the last few weeks, and it's been really neat to see. Really impressive that UNH gave 3 of their, I think it's a total of 6 or 7 Hamel scholarships, which is full tuition room and board. No, just full tuition. But it's very competitive. And 3 of those went to 3 homeschool kids that we're very good friends with. So that was impressive. Sometimes people wonder if homeschoolers can get scholarships. Well, yes, they can. They can get top scholarships. So that's pretty neat. Over here where I'm at around Hampton, we had numbers grow this year, just like everybody. And it's really neat to see how many families are going to stick with homeschooling. So just a lot of embracing and veterans embracing the newbies and teaching them how to do it. And then recently somebody said that me and Meg Ebba should go on tour and teach others in New Hampshire how to do what we call mom school or kitchen table school. Really, it's kind of a co-op, but it's just moms. And we've been doing this for years, and we have, and not just moms, sometimes it's dads, but there's some ways we do it that's a little different than a co-op, and it's been super successful. And it played a big part in these kids getting these scholarships. So I don't know how much time I have to do that, but we might do something. This particular friend, Meg Abba, well, a lot of you know her. She would be great at teaching something like this, a little workshop on mom schoolery is what she called it. So that's it.
That sounds wonderful. Will you send me the information about the kiddos who got the Hamel scholarships? I'd love to include that in the annual report.
Oh, good idea. Yeah, I will.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Steph, how are things at the coalition?
Well, busy. Relating to the that show cause thing in Rochester, at the last meeting, I reported that we had been dealing with a family with similar situation in Dover, and it had gotten resolved. And just over the last week, I've been dealing with somebody with the exact same situation in Laconia, and told her that I would share that information with you. So once again, not being allowed access to classes, or being told they can only take 1 class at a time, or that it can only be an honors class, or that they could play sports but they can't do this. And so with a little help and rewording some of the things she was doing, and including the text of the equal access law and all that, looks like that's getting cleared up. But once again, it's happening all over. I think in the bigger cities is where it happens, because that's where you get these very skeptical administrators. We've always had problems with Manchester, Dover, Rochester, Laconia, that kind of thing. So that was a a nice thing, though. It does look like it's making progress, and the other one was resolved. Okay. And the elections coming up. So
sorry. It looks like you muted.
And let's see, oh, the board wanted a very short video on what the HEAC was, so I made that. It's on our website, and you know, we have other things up like all our high school stuff and all. Because I noticed you were referencing the Greatest State Home Educators. We've had something up there for years. Lots of things. So everything's going well. My fourth homeschooled kid graduated from college last Thursday. Connecticut College, a private college in Connecticut, pretty competitive. With so many gold cords and awards around his neck, it was impressive, but it always is. Oh, and to go along with what Katie was talking about, mom schooling or whatever, I was thinking, because this is, except for my next one, I guess, my last meeting on the HEAC, and I'm thinking about how much homeschooling has changed. One thing that particularly bothers me with the changes is homeschooling is how dependent homeschoolers seem to be on little programs run by certified teachers where you pay tons of money to get education at the level of your local public school. When I started homeschooling, most of us who were volunteering to teach all the classes had just walked out of, you know, teaching at Dartmouth Medical School or Georgetown English classes or whatever. Mom schooling is great. Even if the moms don't have that much of a background in the subject, they read about it, they learn about it, they're enthusiastic, and they don't just say, wow, you did the work, you get a 99.9. So, Katie, you are reviving exactly what I think is the lifeblood of homeschooling, rather than we pay $300 and we belong to this little co-op where we're taught by people who know nothing about homeschooling. So good for you. Yay.
Absolutely.
So that's my little personal spiel, nothing to do with the coalition.
Congratulations on your fourth homeschooler graduating. That's
so one more.
And so would you say that the situations in both Dover and Laconia have been rectified, or do you think they need to be escalated?
Dover, yes. Laconia, we're still talking. I think it's going to resolve just fine. I wouldn't say we need to escalate it yet, but I spoke with her, and she knows about the situation in Rochester. So okay. I think I doubt it's really likely at this point that she's going to hear back, oh, no, we're right, your daughter cannot take more than one class. But if for some reason that happens, I think we should, you know, notify the commissioner right away. I think she will too, and get on it, because it will just be a repeat of the Rochester.
Yep. I really feel positive about the Rochester developments, and that all the hard work that Amanda has put in will really set a precedent for the future to base a lot of this off of. If we can quote the results of this, will be very successful and very helpful for homeschoolers in the future. So, but yeah, the commissioner did say any other districts that are giving problems with equal access, he does want to know about. So if you want to send him a letter, you can, since you have the information of the people who are being affected and how they're being affected, or you can send it to me and I can.
Yeah, and I'll keep you informed. I mean, we really haven't had these issues in a consistent fashion for, I'd say, at least 10 or 12 years. But before that, you know, it used to come up pretty frequently. It used to come up more frequently because we were required to submit more material, so there were more little nuances and questions, but
right.
This is sort of just the way it was. And I'm wondering if Amanda is posting this information about the meeting a lot of places, if there are just a lot of Rochester people who may have been affected by things like this, you know, maybe even 5 years ago, who might want to come out of the woodwork and testify at this hearing, because I bet there are.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember Rochester and Alton.
Mm-hmm.
Not good.
Yeah, feel free to disseminate the information about the meeting. It would be helpful, and people can contact Diana Fenton directly as the prosecution.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
I don't have her contact information, but I can look it up. Thank you,
And
Steph.
I can, once I get the Zoom link, I can send that out to everybody.
Please.
For the meeting that's happening on that Thursday.
That'd be great.
Thank you, Amanda. Jen. How's it going at CUHE?
I got it today, Kitty.
Yeah, I'll pass that to George. He has some interesting comments.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Oh.
I had a list, but I'm going to shorten the list because apparently time is a little
Sorry.
today. I just wanted to say, Katie, I'm going to get in touch with you because I'm very interested in this mom schooling concept. We also got more membership in the last, the last several months. We have a graduation ceremony coming up in June, kind of scaled back due to lingering COVID concerns. Also, our board, we had voted to get involved with G Suite for Education, but we haven't had any local New Hampshire people inquiring about it for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Just all these out-of-state places. And when they inquire, I send them an email with my phone number because I'm supposed to verify that these are legitimate homeschool co-ops. Well, how do I do that? Just through email, and nobody ever calls back. Well, nobody. There's been maybe one or two people who call back. So, we just decided that it's not, there doesn't seem to be a need for it here in New Hampshire.
Right.
We're not interested in trying to pass out G Suite codes for out-of-staters, Let's see. Yeah, what the heck? I had something else here. And I wrote all this stuff down.
Your phone call, George?
Oh,
From,
yeah.
from Connecticut?
Yeah, I had a mom from Connecticut who called, and they're going to be relocating to New Hampshire. Apparently, the homeschool climate in Connecticut, which has been relatively friendly, it looks like it's going to be changing and not for the better. So we had a long conversation 3 or 4 days ago, and I was explaining to her, you can find out a certain amount of stuff by looking online about New Hampshire and New Hampshire homeschooling, but sometimes when you're talking to a live person, it works better. I think I'll just leave it at that. Nothing extraordinary. Some of the same problems that the other groups have run across, with people. We haven't had denials in our organization that I'm aware of, but we've had people calling with questions and saying, what can we do? That sort of thing. So that's it for me for today.
Thank you, George. Is there anything you wanted to add, Jen? No? Okay. Amanda, would you like to give us an update from GSHE?
Yes. So we're currently trying to support folks that are in transition. So we're seeing a lot of people that either are confused about year-end assessments because they were new kind of COVID homeschoolers, or that they're transitioning back to public school and they're confused as to, oh no, it's okay. Sorry, so they either don't know what to do to continue to homeschool, or they don't know what to do to get back into the public school. So we're trying to support them as best we can. So that's kind of ongoing. In our group, well, I've been super busy with special needs homeschoolers. In the last couple of weeks, I help between probably 3 and 5 families a week. And that's either in person or on the phone to develop some type of plan and support them with their special needs children. And so I've been doing consults like crazy for people, which I really think is a blessing to the community because there's really nothing like that in terms of support going on. So I posted the workshop that I did, developmental approach to homeschooling. I created a in-person workshop, And so I was able to transfer that into our group and to connect the worksheets to that to make it available to everyone. So that's available in our group and has been helpful for folks who, need help developing a plan with their special needs kid. So that has been awesome. We have, as you probably know, Christian Home Educators has our giant sale coming up. We're creeping up towards 1,700 items, and that usually doubles in the last week. So that's exciting. We have, hundreds more people showing interest in my event than we have in past years. So we're up in the 400s to shares and likes and interested. So that is wild. But we're super excited. That's June 5th here in Rochester at Emmanuel Church. And so it's from 9 to noon. And then we take a break and sit down. And then from 1 to 2, we have a half price sale on some items. And we have a huge free section. And it really is something that everybody can find something, especially like younger families that are starting their libraries. It's just a wonderful event. So make sure to spread that, if you have anyone who is interested. So it's a consignment sale, and consigners make their own prices, and we are not in it for the money as an organization. So we take hardly a thing in terms of the consignment fee. It really just pays for our computer system, just barely pays for it. So we're happy to provide this, but it's going to be awesome. And I think that's about it. We already talked about the Rochester thing, and that's happening Thursday. And I think that's it. If anyone has any questions about the book sale or needs help, we're still open for consigners. We do need volunteers, and it's all pretty fun, but it's hundreds and hundreds of people come. So
if somebody wants to volunteer, who do we call?
So in order to everything is super duper organized, and there's a link to our MCS system. It's called My Consignment Sale. That's the program we rent from the Children's Museum consignment creator. So you would go to that link, which is in the event that I made on Facebook. All the details are in that as well. But in order to volunteer, you would create a login for the sale, and you can go in and look at all the options available, how many people we need, how many are already filled, what times, everything is on there. So you'd go to that blue link, which I can share with you guys. I don't have it right in front of me, but our specific sale, you'd create a login and then sign up for whatever slot you were interested in.
Okay. So the link will show up. It's going to be shared with us somehow or other.
Yes, I can send out the link in an email.
Okay.
Are you on Facebook, George?
Yeah, but I
Sort
don't.
of. Okay.
The email works better. I look at email.
Okay. Sure, no problem. Yeah. No problem at all.
And for anyone who's on the Zoom call using a computer or device, Michelle just put the link to the curriculum sale in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
It disappeared already. I went to write it down and it disappeared.
I'll send it still though. No
Okay.
problem at all.
Thank you.
An email with- Any other questions about that, or I think I'm all set?
No, but thank you. I hear a lot of good things about the work that you're providing for the special needs home educated students, and people are just so grateful to have that very specific concentration. So thank you for doing that.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Shireen and Nate, do you have anything that you would like to tell the HEAC or share from the day?
No, not at this time. I think we're just looking forward to getting to know everybody on this group and sort of the wider home education community in the state.
And me as well. I what Nate says.
Well, thank you both for being here and taking this on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Representative Cordelli.
Thank you. Basically, the House is finishing work on Senate bills. We'll finish that up and vote next week. And then we'll get into whether we want committee of conferences for bills that have been changed by the Senate. The Senate, as you heard at the beginning, Senator Ward's busy today. They are finishing up work on their House bills, plus they are finishing work this week on the Senate version of the budget. They have included in the budget the education freedom accounts, SB 130. Now, what's important to note there also is that they put a income eligibility limit in there of 300% of federal poverty, which is $79,500 for a family of four. And there again, there's a separation, there's a difference between EFA students and homeschool educated students. One other thing that might be of interest, the department has joined with a nonprofit called Prenda. Michelle has hosted some sessions with them. It's called Recovering Bright Futures. And they will set up learning pods, typically 5 to 10 students in a pod. And there can be district pods set up in conjunction with the local school district, or there can be community pods where a group of families get together and form their own pod, hire the teacher or guide, as Prenda refers to them, and they will be considered homeschool students. So that's a new concept for New Hampshire, and Prenda is working very hard to make the information available to people. Actually, I think next week they're having a session in Rochester in person, and they are having a series of Zoom presentations also to talk about what's involved and signing up and putting people together and registering guides for training. So that's going to be exciting to see how that takes off in the fall. And the guides will be paid with federal COVID money for the next 2 years.
Yeah, that's great.
Glenn, I have a question.
Sure.
In these pods, you said teachers and then guides. Do they have to be certified teachers, or is the word guide being used so that they can be various kinds of
Yes.
people who
Yeah.
are? Okay.
They don't have to be certified. No.
Okay.
No. They go through a Prenda training that's like 4 weeks long, something like that. But
Right. Okay,
anyone
great.
can sign up
Yeah.
to be a guide.
And Representative, you said FP 130 is being voted on today?
SB 130. It's in the Senate already voted. The Finance Committee voted to put it in the budget. I believe tomorrow the full Senate will vote on the budget, HB 1 and HB 2 as a package.
I see. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Seems like there's a lot going on in Rochester next week. We're going to, the commissioner is not able to join us today, but he did want me to send along the show cause information, so that's been emailed out. We will skip over the annual report. As far as I know, there's no new business. One thing the commissioner had sent to me was the gift to the class of 2021, which is the Foundation for New Hampshire Community Colleges. And it's free courses at New Hampshire community colleges for any New Hampshire student who's receiving a 2021 high school diploma, and it includes homeschoolers. Your tuition and fees are paid for 3-credit course for the fall 2021 semester at any of New Hampshire's 7 community colleges. And so you can do that now through the fall. And if anyone wants more information on it, I have a PDF that I can share. I don't know that I can.
I think you sent it all to us.
I may have.
I sent it already onto our newsletter and
Yeah.
social media and stuff.
Thank you.
We did as well.
I love it when I'm ahead of myself. Doesn't happen very often. The other program that is going on is the Lynx program. Does everyone have information about that one? Okay, bear with me just a moment. The Lynx program. Nope. Here it is. Sorry. So it's homeschooling for college credit. It's a program through New Hampshire Technical Institute. It's 7 credits of coursework. Breakfast, snack, and a bag lunch are included. Low or no cost books, and it's for students in, I think it's juniors or seniors. Get a jump start on your college journey this summer by taking English and math courses designed to help you be a freshman year success. And so it's through NHTI. I will put the link in here. And it says you could save $1,500 getting a jump start on classes. It only costs $100 per student to take these classes. So it might be worth looking into if you know a senior in high school who would benefit from that. And then the final thing, I know last year we had a bit of a hullabaloo with Harvard and a wonderful article that appeared written by a law professor, and they are currently having their post-pandemic future of homeschooling online I
Right.
guess.
Yeah, I saw it. You know what you mean.
Session?
Yes.
I've been reading about it.
Yeah. So
Kind of changing their tune.
I'll bet.
Well, some of that.
But they're hosting those every day, and you can tune in if you would like. And so I will also put that link in here for anyone who is interested. It's going on. It started May 6th. It's continuing through June 17th, and it talks about the transformation in homeschooling in recent years. So it's not quite like you said, the tune is not quite the same as it was a year ago, but it's there you have it. Does anyone else have any other announcements? I know I kind of took that over for a minute. And we are lucky enough to have one member of the public here. Michelle, do you have anything you would like to introduce into public comment? Oh, you're muted.
You'd think I'd have the hang of that better by now. Just wanted to reiterate, we're seeing the same sort of issues with equal access that we see every spring with homeschoolers not being allowed to go to their spring formals of some kind.
Yeah.
They're being allowed to participate as a guest of an enrolled student, but otherwise not considered eligible. This has been a reoccurring theme for many, many years, and kind of is, again, not part of the whole COVID pandemic issue, but this just it never seems to get resolved. And so I'm seeing more and more of that pop up from a number of districts. Just wanted to throw that into the equal access discussion that seems to come up every year. It's been interesting as Granite State Home Educators has been supporting families, as Amanda said, in transition, where they they weren't sure if they were going to stay with their public school, or they're tried out homeschooling for some part of this last year. They're really struggling with how to manage the annual assessments, and some of them still don't seem to appreciate why we don't share them publicly, why those are private, and how we work so hard, why that is appropriate. And so we've had a really big learning curve to try for these families to explain that there's a reason we don't share that, and to try to give them a flavor of how that's important, and no, it's not us trying to match the public school standards and defer to that authority. So it's been a very interesting discussion these last several weeks on that. I think last time in March, it seems ages ago, Granite State Home Educators announced an event we were holding with NEAF on college applications, and that was a really great turnout. We have all of those videos on our website. So we've had a couple different sessions with NEAF for supporting our teens as they consider their post-high school options. It really, I think, is a great way to kind of fill the gap of that college counseling stuff that a lot of our public high schools provide to their students. We're trying to do that for our students too. So we have those videos on our website, and back in February, we did one with a particular trade school representing a few different industries, and so we look to expand on that in the fall. So if you know of students that are looking for more college counseling type topics or careers in the trades, we hope to continue with that in the fall.
Would you please spell NEAF, Michelle?
It's NHHEAF, and it's the New Hampshire Higher Education something foundation.
Assistance
I never
Foundation.
remember that.
Assistance Foundation.
Assistance Foundation, that's it.
Thank you.
I've been very much on the periphery of those discussions with homeschoolers who don't seem to, new homeschoolers who really are very proud of how much work they've put in and really want to share how much work they have put in. And it's been handled with a lot of grace and a lot of professionalism. And I think that deserves an applause, because it's difficult for new homeschoolers to understand just how hard veteran homeschoolers had worked to make sure that their portfolios remained their own and their information and testing remained their own. So I think that'll be an interesting transition for them, because they are so proud of their work. I think maybe next year there will end up being showcases of, hey, let's, I don't know, put together our own yearbook and then have a big yearbook show or something. I can see Granite State Home Educators really shining and putting on a really big event for new homeschoolers, showing off their years, because it's big for the kids and the parents. We're all really proud of how hard we've all worked, especially with, mom schooling. That's that in and of itself, an award for sure. Michelle, would you mind if I took a clip off of the Granite State Home Educators website about the NEAF post-secondary high school thing to include in the annual report? I think that would be a very valuable thing to have in there.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to be so careful because the dog gets noisy. That would be no problem. I'd be happy to look at that. If you had any questions about where to find that information, just holler.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course.
That's something that I don't know we've ever had in an annual report before, and I think it would be nice to showcase that. So, thank you. Wonderful. And then, does anyone else have anything else they would like to include? Okay. I would like to make an announcement that I will be, as chairman and as a representative of Granite State Home Educators, I'm going to be stepping down. I have not been as active as I have needed to be as a Granite State Home Educators representative. And so I have not been able to accurately give support for that organization. And so I've relied heavily on Amanda and on Michelle to be able to do that for me. And so because I've not been able to remain as an administrator or I've been, you know, daily life things with homeschooling my own kids and my job and things like that. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart for working so well together and for being such a great team to rely on and such a great team to work with. I have really enjoyed being a member of HEAC, and I've really enjoyed being chairperson for the last year or so. And I thank you very much. I believe Michelle will be stepping in to fill my role for the remainder of my term. And I look forward to coming back on HEAC when I am not putting out so many daily fires. So thank you all so much. I'm sorry I wasn't able to bring cookies to the last several meetings that we've had, because I really would have brought some cool ones today.
Oh.
Aw.
But thank you all very much for being a great team to work with.
Thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And if there is no further ado, I will still be hosting next June 3rd's meeting for the annual report. I will still be delivering the annual report. And then I shall abdicate the crown to Michelle. And so next week, I would like to reconvene at 3:30. I will send out a link for that. That works. And I will fix Zoom, or tech support will. And so I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Seconded.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor to adjourn the meeting?
Aye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful afternoon and happy Memorial Day.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.